Alright, howdy everyone. The time is 5:04 p.m. and it is June 12th. This is another update from Great Lakes Weather. One quick update for the week begins. This is likely the only full-length video I'll be doing regarding this week's weather because I'm going to be pretty busy this week. So just some information for you there. But we have an active weather pattern this week, and there's going to be quite a few weather events that we do need to make note of because it's something that we don't normally see happen so frequently throughout a certain week. So we're going to go through this entire scenario. First of all, the severe weather threat for Monday, and then Tuesday and Wednesday, the excessive heat danger that we are potentially going to have across the Great Lakes region, and then Thursday we might be Wednesday into Thursday we might be looking at some more severe weather for parts of the Great Lakes region. So we're going to get into all that. So active weather day, okay? So down on the bottom right, you have those text notifications. I'd recommend you find a way to get connected with those different, so you can text those handles to 81010. Make sure you guys get connected because that is the way I'm going to be providing quite a bit of my information for you guys. So here we go. Make sure that you are on all of our platforms because there's going to be quite a bit of activity going on this week with the weather. So make sure to scan that QR code, the bottom right hand corner, if you need to get connected with any of our platforms. All of them are on that website. All of those platforms, YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, are the primary platforms you will find information on. So make sure you can scan that QR code and get connected with us there. Alrighty, we are going to dive right in because we have a lot to talk about and I don't have too much time. So let's get right into it. Okay, this is the day one convective outlook. So yes, there is a severe weather threat in southern Indiana today. It's a 2% hatched. It doesn't really look like a pretty significant threat down there. So there really won't be too much to be concerned about with that one. But there is potential for maybe a tornado warning. It's not going to be strong tornadoes, but maybe like a weak spin-up tornado and some damaging wind gusts. Nothing too intense is expected to occur down there, but it is still, just take note of that 2% risk for today. The real story of weather right now is actually what is going to be coming, well, for the Great Lakes region anyway, is actually it's going to be coming tomorrow, okay? Now, yes, at first glance it looks like just merely a slight risk, but the SPC has used some pretty strong wording with this one, all right? So we get a 5% tornado risk, a little bit of a higher risk than what is in southern Indiana today. And then this is something to take note of right here, this 15% hatched area. So this hatched area indicates a greater probability of wind gusts 65 knots or greater within 25 miles of a point. So that will be more along the lines of greater than 75 mile per hour wind gusts potential does exist within this hatched area in southern lower Michigan, northern Ohio, and there is potential that this threat could be shifted southward or northward. We're still trying to, what really the question is here is, where is this going to end up? Certainty is increasing of the fact that it is going to be in this hatched area here, but it could be expanded a little bit farther to the south, a little bit farther to the north. But the models are very different in what is going to happen. Some models aren't really even showing too much of a threat with this system, but most of the models are kind of loosely agreeing, according to the SPC, they're kind of agreeing slightly with each other towards a more prominent potential for some very strong damaging winds, isolated tornadoes, maybe some small hail. The significant hail threat is going to stay off to the plains, but it looks like we could have some hail with these moving in as well. I'm going to show you the models because some models depict this as a very strong mesocyclonic system with a bunch of different clusters of thunderstorms, some embedded supercells in there as well. And then some models just depict that it'll just be something that passes through, nothing really too significant. But most models will say that there's kind of some agreement there that there is going to be thunderstorm activity in this slight risk area tomorrow. So that is why the SPCs put that out. And this is their latest update as of 1:30. So we're going to get into the models and figure out what exactly we could see from this severe weather event. I will not be chasing today, but I will be in the path of this hatched area, so I will have the ability to provide footage, information about this as it moves in. I will be stationed in St. Joseph County, and I'll be able to provide information for you from that location. So St. Joseph County, Michigan is where I'm going to be stationed. So let's go with some of the models real quick. All right, so this is the HRRR model. You've got those thunderstorms that are starting to kind of develop in southern Indiana. The SPC has put out a mesoscale discussion, and they're saying it's not looking too likely that we will be seeing a watch issued with this, because it doesn't look like it'll amount to anything super significant. If I get a sounding from this, yeah, just showing a marginal severe threat as of now with that as we go later in the evening. So nothing super concerning with this threat as of right now. Let's progress it forward, though. We're getting into Monday morning. You can kind of see a cluster of storms kind of developing off to the west here, and it does show some pretty good severe potential. Classic supercell setup, not really too much capping in the atmosphere, and you got Cape, but again, this is not really when the threat is most significant. So let's progress it forward a little bit. All right, so this is the HRRR model. The HRRR does put out something quite a bit different than the other two models, but I'm going to really go off of the HRRR model for this particular setup. So let's progress it forward. We're getting into the afternoon hours. You can really see that kind of mesocyclonic system beginning to set up in front of southern Wisconsin, and not really showing too much of a severe hazard as of now. Really, the Cape is going to be focused in areas a little bit farther to the south of Wisconsin. So Illinois, southern lower Michigan, those places that are currently showing a slight risk area. So let's continue it forward. And then you can see it kind of dips off to the south and really takes off as it moves into that more favorable environment. Look at this. HRRR not really showing any capping in the atmosphere. Some models are showing capping, okay? So remember, capping is based on this graph. You kind of see a shift to the right with these with this red line here, and you don't really see too much of a cap with this setup here, which means that storms will really be able to just shoot up, and you'll get some more high top storms because of that. Cloud bases are going to be displaced a little bit higher. They're going to be higher cloud bases, which means you're really not it's not going to be more of a tornado threat. It's going to be more of a straight line damaging wind threat, and usually that's a better thing to be dealing with anyway compared to tornadoes. But you can really see that photograph showing a nice arch, indicating the potential for a tornado there. So really, it's a really favorable setup for a severe weather event, and we'll look at more information as to why that is the case. So we're going to go to the severe weather maps here, just to get an idea of what we could see with this. Let's take a look at Cape first. Remember, Cape, measure of instability in the atmosphere and the amount of moisture that these storms have to feed off of. And what this is showing, if we back it up, place it forward, remember this warm front is lifting off to the northeast. We're going to show what that warm front is going to do for our weather post Monday evening. So you have this warm front lifting off to the north, and behind that warm front, you have Cape. Lots of it, okay? So Cape values of close to 6,000 in some spots, shown by the HRRR model, and especially in northern Indiana and pretty much across the entire state. But really where these storms are going to be focused is across northern Indiana, getting into central and southern Ohio. So it's going to kind of just take a trek in this direction following that warm front, and that is where we're going to see those storms just launch and really feed off that instability that we have. There's also a good amount of shear in the atmosphere. This wind shear of up to 70, 80 knots in some spots will really be able to contribute to some more intense development of these cells, okay? So you got the supercell composite here showing the capability of a setup to produce supercells, and the levels are very good across parts of southern Michigan, northern Indiana, central Ohio. You can really see that trail that storm's going to be following is really well fed and set up for these storms. Significant tornado parameters. Again, tornadoes really aren't as significant of a threat due to the higher cloud bases, but the SIG-TOR parameters are actually relatively higher than most cases that you'd see in southern Michigan. But again, higher cloud bases, I really think there's going to be more of a straight line event with this setup here. Let's get a look at the reflectivity. You can really see the intensity of these storm clusters when we look at the reflectivity and how strong they could potentially be. Now, some models depict it a little bit differently, but it is good to look at. And it really takes a dip to the southeast, crossing right through my area of St. Joseph County, Michigan, and Kalamazoo County, Michigan. So it's just going to go right through that area. Berry County, any place that is in southern Michigan is really going to see a pretty good bout of storms based on the HRRR model. All right, this is just one model though. Again, it could very well change with another upcoming model. All right, so let's go to updraftilicity and the potential for storm to produce some updrafts, which can lead to the possibility of depicting some tornado trails. There's a lot of updraftilicity in the atmosphere. Really a lot of spin that these storms could feed off of, along with that high instability, high shear, all of that, all of those different factors coming together to produce this weather event. And you can really see how the winds are interacting in the atmosphere as well with this system. Okay, so let's go. You can really see you got upper level winds out of the west, lower level, mid-level winds out of the south, and surface winds out of the southeast. So that can create very easily spin in the atmosphere, which will set up this area well for a severe weather event. Again, higher cloud bases though, connected with a, well, of course, a warm front, really is going to really limit the tornado potential. Is going to be possibility of a tornado, but I think more straight line, significant damaging winds could be the potential threat from this system. So that's a little bit of a breakdown of this particular system setup. So just something to keep an eye on. Make sure you know a severe weather plan for, especially if you're in southern Michigan, northern Indiana, parts of central Ohio, northern Ohio. Make sure you have that plan in place Monday afternoon and evening, just in case something were to come up. All right, I want to look at the other models real quick and give you kind of a comparison from the NAM3K. Okay, so this is why we only have a slight risk for this event. Some people are saying we'd be surprised if we go up to enhanced. The SVC even said we might reach an enhanced risk. So let's investigate what their plan is, what their setup is. So let's go to Monday afternoon. This is according to the NAM3K. And you can see it kind of shows some moisture, maybe a line of some rainfall, but it really shows it breaking apart by Tuesday. And then later in the day, Tuesday morning, well, later Monday night, you have that cluster of maybe a few showers and thunderstorms moving in, just packing a marginal severe risk. So you can see that is a big difference compared to what the HRRR model shows on their chart, okay? But you can now see right here there's capping in the atmosphere according to the NAM3K. And that capping is going to, according to the NAM3K, can lower the ability of a storm to be produced from this, okay? So let's continue progressing it. And it really shows, yeah, the MCS does continue to develop as it reaches down into Indiana, still packing that severe potential with those Cape values, but not really showing the more impressive setup that is shown by the HRRR model. So HRRR is more of a something worse that could happen. And then you have the ECMWF model. And what they show for Monday afternoon is, well, this is happening over a 6-hour time frame, but you have this line of storms all the way up in Minnesota, progressing down to the southeast, and it makes it all the way to central, maybe even southern Indiana by Monday night. Okay, so really big model differences, but all the models do kind of agree that there is going to be some type of severe weather event. Okay, severe weather events. So that is why there's a slight risk based on the SVC. Again, I'm not speaking for the SVC here, but looking at the models, I would say this does show some pretty favorable setup for severe weather. All right, now behind this system, okay, so this is Monday afternoon. Behind this system, the heat really builds in. Again, this is a warm front system, okay, so the warm front's going to lift through, and then we're in a really hot air mass. Our heat index, or what it's going to feel like outside, is going to be really high. We're going to get high temperatures in the mid 90s, maybe even upper 90s in some spots. And then that heat index is really going to take off because of the humidity. We're going to have dew points in the upper 70s. It's going to be very moist. That's also something those storms are feeding off of Monday night. But you can really see that we have different, look at this, just heat indexes of the one in the 100s. Okay, you can really see that it's going to be really hot across this area, even hotter than parts of the plains, which is something you don't normally see. So heat indexes are high all across the Great Lakes region, unless you're in the Upper Peninsula. Don't worry, you'll get your bout of it on Wednesday. But down here, this really hot temperatures, okay? 107 in parts of near Elkhart, 105 in Kalamazoo, 106 in St. Joe County. It's going to be very hot, humid, and just utterly nasty. If you're going to be outside, if you're going to be camping, things like that, you really should have a way to keep cool, like some water. Take a bandana with you, put some water, cold water on that. That'll help you cool down. If you tie it around your neck, that'll keep you cool. Just find ways to stay cool to prevent heat exhaustion and even heat stroke. It's going to be very hot. You are going to want to be careful during this. And this is all connected with that warm front air mass that's behind this. It's a very strong ridge. We looked at that in our previous video. I would encourage you to take a look at that. But the air mass is prompting heat advisories and excessive heat warnings all across the plains, the Mississippi River Valley. All these different areas are already seeing very hot air in their atmosphere. Okay, so this is eventually going to lift to the northeast before a cold front later on, potentially on Thursday, Wednesday night into Thursday, brings more thunderstorm potential. We can't be certain about the severe potential yet, but given the environment that this storm is going to be able to feed off of, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some pretty decent severe weather potential. So we're going to look at the GFS model now for that. Also, we'll look at the GFS for what they're expecting for Monday afternoon. They're also showing more of a southern, this is Monday morning actually. So Monday morning they do show some thunderstorms moving through, some already previous convection from the previous severe weather event, but they do also show the development of thunderstorms across central Michigan. Now, it doesn't show dropping them to the south, okay? But you do have that environment in place still for good storms, okay? You can see that. And it actually depicts lower cloud bases, which could pack more of a tornado threat. So that's just something to watch, but it looks like this one displaces it a little bit northward, the GFS does. Now, we're going to have to wait for updates on that. Their update will come out later on. But let's move into when the heat's really bearing down on us. What this model is actually showing is something pretty interesting. So we have Thursday morning, okay? Thursday morning we got a line of thunderstorms kind of moving into the area, and these thunderstorms may actually pack a marginal tornado potential. Again, you have a good environment. Even if it's in the morning, storms can still produce some severe weather during the morning. In the afternoon, in the Thursday afternoon, we have more thunderstorm potential that occurs, and this also packs a tornado threat, okay? So not a good tornado threat, but the soundings do show maybe some tornado threat. Not as favorable of an environment there, but I want to pause it back here on Thursday afternoon. That would be hour 199. So we'll go to 99, and I want to take a look at the severe weather setup for this as well. So Cape values, again, Cape values actually don't look too high. As shown previously, they actually rise if you go a little bit farther into the time frame. So this is Thursday afternoon. Remember, it may say Friday up there. Thursday afternoon, Cape values of 3,000 to 4,000, and in parts of Ohio, you have it in 4,000 as well. So there's a lot of instability in the atmosphere for this event as well. Wind shear, not really that high behind the storm front, yes, but supercell composite also not extremely high, but it does show some potential for severe weather. So we're watching Monday afternoon, especially big deal. Could be a pretty big day for severe weather, and I will be watching it from St. Joe County, Michigan. Also, later on, the heat that's going to be building in Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday afternoon, maybe more potential for some thunderstorms that could pack some severe potential. So that is pretty much all of the information about this weather event. So make sure you are aware. Make sure you get on those different platforms that we have. Make sure you refer to the SPC, NWS first of all. They have the best information. But this also gets you some information as well. Text notification system, get on that. Make sure you're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all of our platforms. I'll be continuing to provide updates when I can during those time frames. But this is going to be an active week, okay? So you're going to want to make sure you have ways to get information. All right, so that's all I was going to show you. Make sure to like and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Make sure they get the information out. All right? So enjoy the rest of your Sunday and enjoy your work week. Stay safe out there.